Bees love sunflowers. What a beautiful summer evening. And what better place is there to be than in a garden? Shuswap Community Teaching Garden on August 18th. Oh my goodness, the time is flying by. I can't believe it. Let's do a quick tour of the garden to see how everything is growing and what's up and coming over the next couple of weeks. Elmarie's beautiful, massive, abundant permaculture garden with all the tomatoes being allowed to just sort of sprawl and do their tomato thing, which is divine. These are amaranth growing. They're very beautiful, and they will create many, many seeds, and that's the same amaranth that you'll find at the health food store. It's a grain, it's high in protein. A little bit time consuming to collect, but that can be done. So we have the carrots are growing quite well. This area of the garden doesn't get so great of water, and so we do end up having to do a bit of hand watering just in this very last section. We are noticing though that there are some large sections of carrots being harvested, and when harvesting the carrots as a volunteer, please make sure, because some of them they're still in kind of clumps, harvesting only the biggest of the carrots so that the other smaller ones can still continue to grow. One of the things that does need to be done is, we do need to do some weeding in and around these sugar pumpkins, just to try and actually get at them, see them, and help them grow. I'm seeing some powdery mildew, and that's going to be because we've been doing some overhead watering in this area. And because you can see there's a lot of weeds, so there's not a lot of airflow. And so this area could be weeded. Some of this barley grass can actually just be cut. I know that's a little bit time consuming though too. But even in the squash area here, we could do some weeding. The perimeter, it actually sort of pulled a lot of weeds back. But that area there, we continue to try and manage the perimeters through weeding and through mulching with the wood chips as well. This section here we've uncovered. We sprayed the Brussels sprouts with water because they were getting some aphid issues. And so that's one way. You can spray them with water, or you can use an insecticidal soap. We're going to spray them with water first before we go that route. The broccoli is growing. And Sue decided to come up tonight too. We're both coming up to check on things. I see little baby broccoli forming in our sort of late fall harvest. We've got broccoli and red cabbage and cauliflower. The sprouting broccoli is kind of trying. We'll just let it go because at this point it's planted there. And the onions are certainly sizing up, but you can see they are still growing. They still have plenty of green erect tips, which means they are still growing. We've mounded the potatoes a little bit more, hoping to get a bigger potato. And we did end up actually thinning out the rutabaga, the winter turnip. And they were getting to be a pretty good size, so we're just going to let those keep going. Was in the cucumber patch tonight, harvested many, many cucumbers. So that's actually going to go down to Food with Friends tomorrow. And actually I've been harvesting some of the tomatoes as well. Little patty pan was ready. I could harvest kale, but I'm not going to tonight. We have lots of beautiful red cabbages forming. So we definitely want to let them get to size. We've seen a few kind of disappear, and they must have been quite small. And so we really hope that we can allow these to get big, because then they will go much, much further. Same with these green cabbage too. We do have some sweet peppers growing in the back, and they're, we were almost going to give up on some of the peppers, and they really came along. You see the tomatoes are definitely starting to ripen. Got lots of red ones we can see. We've been very good with picking the zucchini, so there's not a lot left of those. But these carrots here too, we're going to be coming in soon and thinning those out and allowing those to get bigger. So they're pretty tight, but we'll come in, give them a good watering, and thin them and let them keep on growing. So we've got lots of signs. As we're going to be doing a seed saving class coming up on the 27th, we do want to leave some of the plants that have gone to seed, including we've got some onions that have gone to seed. We have some carrots that have gone to seed, beets, lettuce, and even this celery that went to seed. We're actually going to be leaving that and keeping it to gather for the celery seed itself, not for planting, but for its use as a culinary herb. So everything is growing well, coming along. The pole beans are definitely looking so wonderful on their wigwams. Blossoming now, so we'll start to see some of those beans forming. The bush beans have been prolific. We have green and purple. They are, we've done many pickings of those, and they just keep on coming. So if you've planted beans, you know how that goes. And every time we're getting sort of empty spots, we're now putting some more seeds in. So we've got spinach and radish, some more Russian kale, more lettuce, and we'll just kind of keep putting in those crops that we know can manage themselves through the cooler nights now and actually will thrive for it. The potato bins, we're starting to see a little bit of dieback, so I think those are basically starting to finish up. The flower bed is beautiful. The wood chips have been moved, thanks to Elle-Marie and her husband Kelvin. Thank you so much. So if you do happen to come up here on a day that people are not here, certainly there's always weeding, looking for any leaves that are, really spotty or discolored. The leaves can be removed. The watering is managed, and that's one thing that we do need to mention, that the irrigation is now on a timer, and we need to make sure that the tap is always left on. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So always lefty-loosey with the tap, and we need that to always be on so that the irrigation will come on at nights. Otherwise, the taps that are for any like hand watering, we have hoses for each end. Just making sure that those are left up when you're done, but that the tap is left on. And so, if you ever want to tackle the perimeters, that would be great. Getting into some of the nuanced little areas here, fixing anything up, getting rid of any debris, and just giving the plant some TLC and keeping it growing. We will have a work bee this Saturday, and remember, next Saturday, the 27th, starting at 9, there's going to be a free workshop all to do with seed saving and cover cropping and any Q&A. So if you have any questions, email me, projects@shuswapfood.ca.